All right, guys, here we are, the Model Y. A couple of weeks of ownership now. I owned the Model 3 for a lot longer, so this is my first experience of actually owning the Model Y. So if you don't know, Tesla was offering a substantial, just if you passed it up, if you knew you qualify, you were crazy, the 0.99% for 72 months. It is now 1.9 at the recording of this video for 72 months. And folks, let me tell you, that's still a great deal. I see some people saying, oh man, I missed it. You know, I wish I had gotten it. But folks, you still got a heck of a deal if you took that 1.99. Being well qualified in itself, folks, is something you should be proud of. That means you're taking care of your credit and your finances, and companies see you that way so you can buy what you want ultimately. So for me, being able to grab this car at 72 months at 0.99 is just, it was a freebie. Most of the people I talked to in car sales, my neighbor sells cars, he was like, dude, don't put any money down and get that deal. And I was like, I already did. So yeah, this is kind of a freebie to a lot of people who know about when you're doing cars with these interest rates. But nonetheless, this is what that video is about. So hopefully you got that deal. If you didn't, take the 1.99 or take the 60 months at 0.99. It's still a good deal, folks, trust me. But I have this car now for 2 weeks, recording this video, and I'm loving the Model Y. I didn't know how I was gonna feel about it at first because it is a bigger, it's a crossover, like SUV type car. But there are a few things that I don't like, but it's solved by Tesla, I guess. So let me start with that one dislike. The one dislike is the rear view mirror, the view that you have out of the back window. It is super small, and it's solved by just turning on the camera. So if you get in here, let's see here. Ugh. So if you look at this view here, that view through the back of that window is not a lot, folks. It is not a lot, but it's solved by turning on the camera. That's what you can do if you just don't like that view. And I see a lot of people driving like this. I personally cannot drive like this. That's just me. I don't like to drive with the camera on. It's not something I'm used to. I do it from time to time if I'm in a situation, but I definitely do not drive with a car like that. So that's probably the only dislike I have so far. I think that's probably it. Now, one thing I did notice that I didn't notice when I first picked up the car was this has Pirellis. this has Pirellis on here, man. Pirelli Scorpions, man. 255, 45, 19s. These have Pirellis on it. So I was like, yo, thank you, Tesla, for the Pirellis. I gotta check out my Model 3 that's in the garage. I gotta see what tires are on that one, but it's a 2023 Model 3. And I'm pretty sure it doesn't have Pirellis, but I was like, yo, thanks Tesla for the Pirellis. Like, thank you for the Pirelli. So other than that, folks, 2 weeks, about 650 miles, I think, so far. Yes, I have been driving this car, man. I mean, for me, 650 miles in 2 weeks is a lot. I'm probably gonna average, if I keep going at the rate I'm going, I'm gonna have minimum 1,000 miles a month because I got this car to drive, man. I like cruising in this car. Maybe later on or something like that, after the car gets 40, 50,000 miles on it, I'll start to do like wheels and tires, like, you know, like 24s or 22s or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll think about doing that, but for now, this is just my great deal. Now, I do have a hardware 4 on the cameras, so that's pretty nice. You can tell that, I guess, by looking at the little red dot right there. And there's a red dot on all of them. It's not just about having hardware 4, it's about the quality in those cameras. Like when you're driving at night, it is really, really nice. Now, one thing I might do to this car, because I really don't plan on getting bigger wheels until later on, but I'm going to talk about range in this video as well. I don't plan on getting bigger wheels or anything, but I think I might do a 1-inch drop on this car, and it's super easy. You just get the links and you jack it up yourself and do it yourself. Super easy to do. I might do that. I'm not sure, but I actually do want to customize this car with new wheels. I'm just not ready to do that yet. I'm ready to just keep enjoying it as is. I think I've added a lot of stuff to the cars, like interior, like storage and mats and just little trinkets and stuff here and there. You know, the tint obviously makes it look better. The wheel covers make it look better. But overall, this car needs nothing, in my humble opinion. It needs absolutely nothing. I like the rear end on this car. I'm glad I got the dual motor. I'm glad I didn't skimp on it, and I'm glad I got the all-wheel drive dual motor, because I have in fact put the boost on it, accelerator boost, and I'm so glad I did. I'm glad I did, man. This thing is quick, really quick. I can shoot up to 100 like nothing. And the great thing about having a Tesla is that when you're in traffic, you don't have to worry about a person trying to not let you in. Like, if you want to move around and you want to go, you're gonna go. You're gonna get in there, and you're going to. They can't stop you. And I find that a lot of people with this car, I find a lot of people with this car, like when they see this car, I see a lot of people tailgating me. I see a lot of people not wanting to let me in, or they cut me off a lot. And I think it's just a hate for an electric vehicle. And that's cool. You don't like electric vehicles? That's cool. Do your thing. But you don't have to be a jerk on the road. That's the way I feel about it. So let's talk about range. After 2 weeks, now what I did was, Tesla gave me this car at like 91% when I picked it up. So what I did was I took it and charged it to 100. Now the estimated EPA, here's where Tesla differs from Chevy and what I've noticed, because I put out a video on the EV Equinox. Folks, I have test driven the Blazer, the Lyriq. I've test driven a lot of EVs. Even though I don't put a video out on it, I have definitely driven a lot of these cars. And let me say this. I don't think people buy Teslas for interior and exterior looks. I think they buy Tesla for reliability and, you know, the comfort of the drive and the charging network. Some people say, you know, the charging network is going to be opened up to everybody soon. Well, that hasn't officially gone through yet. Where I live at, it is only Tesla chargers, and there's very few here that allow other cars to charge on it. I mean, you have to go and find them. So what I did was I compared the range on this car next to, let's say, a Blazer EV. And what I've noticed is Chevy's estimated range is more true to life. That's what I've noticed. Now, on my Model 3, that range was spot on. It charged to 100%, and it was 272. That is what it was rated at. It got it. Of that, though, I got maybe 265, which was really good. This car, after 2 weeks of ownership, when you charge this to 100, the EPA says 310. It only charged to 305 or something like that, I think it is. Or 304 or 305. I took it off the charger at 99% one time, and it was at 304. And at 100% one time, basically the times that I've seen it to, now it's not recommended that you charge this car to 100% if you're not taking long trips, but I wanted to charge it to 100% just to see what it would be. So I've done it 2 times, and the first time I did it at a supercharger, and it was 303 for 100%, and then when I did it at home on a level 2 charger, it went to 305 or something like that, 304 at 100%. So I'm just gonna keep charging it at 80% because with this car, I have 2 chargers at my house. And so with this car, since it charges at 40 amps and the Model 3 charges at 32, it tops out, the one that I have, the 23 Model 3, it tops out at 32 amps. And this one, my charger is at 40 amps for this one. So it charges really fast. But I charge this one on the 12 amp because this car, I typically don't let it go below 50%. So I don't mind. And also I drive this car a lot right now. I don't drive it as much as the Model 3. So I'm okay with letting this sit on the charge at my house for 15 hours. I don't really care. So I did a test and this car was at 53%. It charged to 76% at 12 volts, believe it or not, or 12 amps. It charged from 53 to 70% in about, I don't know, was it about 10 hours or something like that? I wasn't really monitoring, but when I went back out there, I looked at my phone. I was like, whoa, this thing is already at 70%, and it's on the 12 amps. You know, the regular house plug. Yeah, so I was shocked at that. But range on here for me, 80% is 250 miles for me. And then if I go to 100%, it's 304. It's consistently at 304. I've done it twice, 303 and 304. I think I did it. No, I think I charged 100% 3 times. because I wanted to get an average. So 100% for me is not 310 miles as estimated by Tesla. It's actually 304. So after 3 charges to 100 and the rest of the charges to 80%, 250 is my 80% and 304 is my 100%. Now, some of you guys will look at that and say, that's not even worth it. It's not even a lot. Folks, I don't drive 300 miles a day. I don't drive 250 miles a day. Now, when I get on the road, like when I look at the energy portion in here, it says that I'm actually getting about 294 on average when I drive this car. You should go to the energy screen if you have a Tesla. So let's go in and look at the energy screen. I don't know what it's going to say right now, but I'm going to show you my energy screen. This is the screen that you want to go into. And here we go. So right now, I have been driving very fast today. I was driving fast. Let me turn the AC down. I was driving pretty fast today. Today is one of the days that I started off at 100%. And that was this morning, and it's 7:13 right now, p.m. And I was out cruising with a buddy of mine. He has a Plaid, and we were hitting it. You can see my consumption was pretty good, but you can see where I was kind of hitting it. But, you know, average kilowatts for me is 327. That's pretty decent. Projected range on this one, if I keep driving sporadically and wild like this, it's going to give me 193. So, but you go to instant right here and look what it says. If I just drive bad, it's going to be bad for me. But look at what it's been since the charge, 313 kilowatts. The current drive is 526. So it's definitely good. It's good. It's definitely good. So when I'm not driving like that, this is my first time doing some spirited driving today. When I boosted it, I boosted it the same day I bought it, and I didn't drive it as much, like really fast, because I was just really trying to just be easy on it. But I pretty much drive in chill mode, folks, which is why I'm getting a higher range. Like the last time I looked at it, it said my average trips on here were 294. But the times that I've charged this, my average range it said 294, which is really good. But today I've done a lot of spirited driving, man. I was hitting it all day, pushing it past 100, and that's why you see 183 for instant, and then the higher one for average for 30 miles an hour. So it's good. It can get some good range. And I think that this long range, even though I'm not getting anywhere near that 310, and then when you factor in air conditioning, remember, it's 109 where I'm at. Right now, folks, it is hot out here, but I'm in the shade, and so it's not as bad. But the humidity is 110, and it's 99 degrees out here right now, and the humidity is 110. So you factor in that, and then I'm playing the radio. You know, I got the air conditioning. I'm driving a little bit faster today. That's not bad. I started the morning with 304 miles, and now I'm at 243 miles, and I'm at like just under 80% for all the things that I've done. Driving an EV, folks, is probably one of the best things you could probably do if you don't drive more than 200 miles a day. You can totally do it. You save. Now, if I were filling up my gas car, let me tell you something, folks. I would have spent easily $100 today on gas. My Mustang could take $65 to fill up based on today's current pricing. This car right here, now I have free supercharging until November. I still had some left over from my previous car, so I have until November on here. I have free supercharging until November. The times that I've supercharged from like 40% to 100 or 80, it was only like between 10 and $15. That's what it costs. So if you're thinking about, I hate EVs, I'll never do it, folks, I'm telling you, if you want to save some money, now EVs are getting super cheap. The EV that I showed, the EV Blazer, that car was actually the higher trim. And when I saw the MSRP on it, I didn't show the window sticker in there because it was still in transport mode, and they had the they had the sticker in the car after I shot the video. But that car was about $46,000. The one that's going to be 360 miles of range is $30,000. So EVs are going to be really affordable. Now there's another car that I was looking at, and it is the Ioniq 6. That car, a base one of that one, rear-wheel drive, comes with 360 miles of range, and it is super cheap. But I looked at one that was a long range, and it had 305 miles of range. And folks, those miles on the range are actually extremely accurate when it comes to the Ioniq 6, folks. Maybe I'll go back out there. I chose this color right here in that Ioniq 6, and I got the long range. It's got black interior. It's just like this, except it's an Ioniq 6. That car is fast, man. Not as fast as this, but the range is more accurate. 305 miles of range, and when it's charged to 100%, it was at 305 miles of range. And I was gonna do a video on that, but I didn't want to shoot video at the dealer and, the salesperson there, I didn't want him to, because I was planning on buying it. But then when this popped up, and then also when the 24 Model 3 popped up, I let the Ioniq 6 go. I was like, no. And the Ioniq 6 for me, folks, was $39,000. They were also offering me, if I didn't take, they offered me $7,500 off, plus they gave me another $7,500 for the EV tax credit. It would have been about 30-something thousand, 32 or something like that, after all is said and done. But that's with a 6% rate. And I was like, no. So he said, if you don't want that, you can do 2.9 with $2,500 off, and then you pay the full cost of the car, but you still get you don't get the $7,500 off from us, you get $2,500 off from us, but you still get your tax credit. And I was like, nah. But then this came up, and I was like, this is bigger. It costs a little bit more, but I trust Tesla right now for charging. I can go anywhere on a Tesla and charge, and I feel comfortable with it. And I know a lot of you guys say, oh, Jay, you know what you're talking about. The network is open now. That's not official yet, folks. There's not a lot of people charging at Tesla chargers where I live at. And so I don't trust it yet. Nonetheless, 2 weeks of ownership, folks. The range at 100% for me has been 304. If you have the long range like me, what's your 100% charge number? It can't be more than 304, I'm sure, because that's an EPA. But it might. So if you have a long range 2024 with the EPA of 310, what is your full? Because a lot of you guys bought this car. You told me you bought it, so I believe you. With the 0.99 or whatever. But if you bought this car and you have the same model I have, doesn't matter the color. You have the long range dual motor, not the rear motor. What is your full charge if you've charged it to 100%, and what's your 80%? My 80% is 250, and my 100% is 304. Sometimes 305. It clicked at 305, but it dropped as soon as I unplugged it. So I love this car so far, man. Here's a fun fact. I hated the Model Ys when I first saw them years ago. And then when I saw the Model 3, I bought that instead, because last year when I bought the Model 3, I just didn't want a Model Y. I was like, I don't like this. And I'll admit, they gave me a Model Y Performance initially for 24 hours. And that's when I started to like the Model Y about 6 months ago. And it just so happened that this deal came up, and I now own one. So I like this car, man. But I also have another video on my 2024 Performance Model 3. Stay locked for that. Because I think I told you in another video that I did buy one. So my date is moving up closer and closer every time I look at the app. So I will give you a separate video on that. But anyway, it's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed. The 2024 Model Y long range dual motor is a hit. I like this car. I like it a lot. So if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a comment down below. Let me know if you bought one of these, what color you got, how you did it. Let me know and let's talk about it. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.